I think, just knowing how I look at things in the business and life is like, I think it's the inspiring underdog. I think that it's gotten a ton of traction across multiple categories where when it was in its nay stages, like it was very much driven by a few categories. I think almost every single category is operating in that right now, but I think that at the same time, there's a lot more room for growth. So I think the inspiring underdog is where I would put it into as a genre.
So, Cara, unpack a little bit about what addressable investment means now. It's changed, as you referenced earlier. What does it mean now, and what are some best uses, and how do you explain the value to your clients?
I mean, from our standpoint at Dentsu, we think about addressability every single day because what we're trying to do is actually reach the audiences that our clients are intending to reach. So all different clients intending different kind of client categories. And so addressability for us is reaching that audience. But then when you think about addressable TV, it's like, how can you start with addressable TV in the planning process and really get down to who you want to reach because you can target them harder through addressable TV. And then you can go broader and hit television, connected TV, and really gain that incremental reach. Incremental reach is built on top of what addressable TV can start from in that audience, and then how you want to get broader in reaching the masses.
So, how do you define addressable TV versus targeting, or is it does it overlap?
I think there's overlap for sure. I think addressable TV is allowing us to, within, the MVPDs, essentially reach the audiences because we know that somebody in that household is intending to buy our product or use our product. Whereas in targeting, we're actually just more so reaching, not really one-to-one, but more so one-to-many, but we're targeting against the audiences in terms of, signals, in terms of, what we know that they like to do and intend to do, rather than actually knowing they might be going into a dealership or into a store to purchase a product.
So, what about the changing categories, the expansion of categories? When we started covering this some years ago, it was set up automotive or car leases, and it's changed. What's the scope in terms of client activation now around addressable TV?
I mean, I think we're still seeing those large advertisers, obviously, in some of the categories across insurance and auto and pharma and all of those categories still activating with an addressable. But for us, from a Dentsu point of view, with our client layout, we have a lot of performance brands that might be tapping out in search and social, and they're looking for the next way to get incremental reach. And we've been talking to them about addressable TV to be able to do that. They are very performance driven, and so they want to kind of keep that performance, and we can get outcomes out of our addressable TV buys. And so that's really kind of like a next layer for us because addressable can be also linear and connected TV at this point.
So what do you see as opportunities or perhaps barriers to making addressable? Is it around data? Is it around standards? Or what needs to happen to make this more widespread?
I think, measurement is still a little bit of a barrier. I also think cost is still a barrier. I think the way in which it's compared into, like, if you compare it to a linear CPM, yes, it looks a lot more expensive. But if you actually take the effectiveness of what addressable is driving versus linear, then it actually may look even better and usually does. So I think it's just really still an education, still talking to clients about the cost shouldn't be the barrier. And I would also add creative into that. For a long time, it was like we only have a 15, a 30, a 60, and they still need a 50, 30, or a 60, but in some cases, they need a different creative for a different household, so they need versioning, and now there's multiple ways that you can do that with companies like Tag, who we acquired earlier in the year.